Hello everyone, welcome to Grammar and Writing Lesson 110. Let's get started with our vocabulary. Our first word is understatement. Understatement. This is the opposite of exaggeration. Remember that exaggeration is when you're kind of telling something that's above and beyond the truth. You're making it sound even bigger than it is. So this is the opposite because it's saying something that is the truth, but in like a smaller way. You're not giving it as much emphasis as is actually the truth, but it's a way of emphasizing something. So for example, to say that Albert Einstein was smart is an understatement. People know that Albert Einstein was a genius. He was incredibly smart. So just saying, he was smart, that's an understatement. Really, a better adjective would be that he's a genius. So it kind of would just add a little bit of emphasis by pointing out that that's not even the extent of it. He is incredibly smart. Slice of life. Slice of life. Now this phrase is an interesting one. It is an accurate picture of everyday life. So if you want to talk about the things that go on, typical things that happen in everyday life, you would use the term slice of life. For example, Charles Dickens presents a slice of life showing what life was like for children in the workhouse. So this is talking about in the novels and the books of Charles Dickens. He shows that what a typical day in the life of a child who worked in the workhouse would be like. So that would be a slice of life. It's kind of, the idea of a day in the life, showing what someone's circumstances are like. Slapstick. This is a fun one. This is a type of comedy that uses exaggerated physical action to make people laugh. Slapstick. This is actually a type of comedy that I quite enjoy when it's tasteful. So it's like, the idea of tripping and falling over something and it being funny. Obviously not when someone gets hurt, but it's a form of comedy. For example, the Three Stooges movies used slapstick comedy. So they were, in case you're not familiar with the Three Stooges, they were these three friends or brothers. I honestly don't remember which. Moe, Larry, and Curly were their names, and they were always getting into trouble and doing crazy, wild things. But usually they ended up, the humor, the comedy is that they would fall over things or hit each other or all kinds of things like that. So it was very famous for its slapstick. It was a lot of physical comedy. All right, resolution. Resolution. This is the satisfying, but not necessarily happy, ending to a story. For example, Injun Joe's capture provides resolution in the adventures of Tom Sawyer. So really that one is kind of a happy ending because the bad guy gets captured. So the resolution is just the ending that's brought to a story. Plagiarism. Plagiarism. Now we've definitely talked about this word before because I've talked to you about it in your writing. And in fact, that's an example sentence. Definition is claiming as one's own someone else's work or ideas. So it's saying that, and this is mostly talking about written work. So you take something that somebody else has written and you say that it is your own work. That's plagiarism. For example, students are warned against plagiarism when writing papers. It's considered stealing, and you will get a failing grade. And that is not just here at this school, it's anywhere. Plagiarism is very, very serious. Okay, so let's get some practice in. Fill in the blank with the correct vocabulary word. It is an blank to say that Superman is strong. Superman can lift cars. Think about that. We avoid blank by using quotation marks and giving credit to the author when we write someone else's thoughts or words. In the story's blank, the hero and heroine rode off into the sunset together. Being hit in the face with a pie is an example of blank comedy. The TV special gave a blank showing living conditions in a third world country. All right, let's check your answers. It is an understatement to say that Superman is strong. He's extremely strong. So just saying, he's strong, that would be an understatement. We avoid plagiarism by using quotation marks and giving credit to the author when we write someone else's thoughts or words. In the story's resolution, the hero and the heroine rode off into the sunset together. Being hit in the face with a pie is an example of slapstick comedy. And the TV special gave a slice of life, showing living conditions in a third world country. All right, let's move into our lesson for the day. We're talking about analyzing assessment prompts. What are assessment prompts? Well, those would be test questions where you are supposed to be writing a response, and then you will be graded based on how you wrote your response. And the writing for the response, I'm not talking about, just like true or false or fill in the blank. I'm talking about like paragraph or essay writing. Some tests include writing prompts that require longer, more detailed answers than most test questions do. A writing prompt contains certain keywords that give you a strategy for writing your response. So you have to pick up on these keywords and think about, okay, this is what they're getting at. What would be the best way to show this? It also gives you information about the topic, audience, and format for your writing. So let's talk about what topic, audience, and format are. The topic is the subject you should be writing about. So whatever is your main focus, whatever is the center of your paper, that's your topic. The audience is the people who will read what you have written. So right now, most of the time, your audience is your teacher. But I want you to think beyond that, because sometimes, even though I might be the only one who's going to see it, really it's not written simply for me. It has another audience in mind, like your parents or a friend, something like that, or maybe, teenagers, if you write a children's book, things like that. The format is the form your writing should take, such as a letter, an essay, or an editorial. So how are you going to put your thoughts into words? What form will it be in? So your homework is to complete Analyzing Assessment Prompts 1 on page 36. So let's take. First, you need to define the keywords. Match each of the following keywords with the correct strategy for completing the writing assignment. So the first keyword is persuade. If you see that you have a writing prompt that tells you to persuade someone, what strategy should you take? Should you give a sequence of events or steps in the order in which they occur? Should you identify main characteristics that give specific details about each one? Should you focus on a topic and its main points, including details about each point? Or should you present a point of view and give reasons and evidence to support it? Which one goes with persuade? It is D, present a point of view and give reasons and evidence to support it. This is the best format that's going to go with the keyword in your prompt of persuade. It tells you that you need to write a persuasive essay. Oops, I went ahead of myself here. Describe. Well, this one is to identify main characteristics and give specific details about each one. That's what describing would be. So if you see in your prompt, describe this, then that's the plan you need to have. Number 3, tell how. So if your question says in your writing prompt, says tell how something happened. Do you need to A, give a sequence of events or steps in the order in which they occur? Or C, focus on a topic and its main points, including details about each point? Okay, you need to A, give a sequence of events or steps in the order in which they occur so that your audience can clearly see what happened, how, and when. So that means the final one, discuss, is to focus on a topic and its main points, including details about each point. You're just kind of expounding on it. You're just talking about it. Okay, the next section says analyzing prompts. Identify the topic, audience, and format for each of the following writing prompts. Also underline the key word or words in each prompt. That tells you what format you should really take. So I'm going to do the first one with you, and then the rest you have to do on your own. The first one is the science test. Tell how a drop of water moves through the water cycle. So first of all, what's going to be the topic? Well, I can see I'm talking about a drop of water, but overall I'm talking about the water cycle. Very good. The audience, who's going to be reading it? The teacher. The format, what format should you use? What would be the best way to present this topic? This is a little bit up to interpretation, but I would say a paragraph or a brief essay. Your clue word, your keyword, excuse me, would be tell how. So that shows that you just need to kind of expound it in a paragraph, and that's all. Okay, that's it for today. Let me know if you have any questions at all, and I'll see you in our next lesson. Love you guys. Bye.